This video costs you nothing, but less than 5 to 6 minutes, but it will make you one of the smartest person in the room. Today, I'm breaking down your spending. If this shifts your perspective, please like and subscribe. That's exactly why BRAINELM Lab's channel exists. Let's get into the data.
You know, this quote really gets to the heart of what it means to master your money. It's not really about sacrifice, is it? It's about making conscious, deliberate choices to build a life you truly love, instead of just settling for one that's kind of okay.
So why do so many of us feel so frustrated with our finances? Well, the core problem is that our focus is, honestly, just misplaced. We've all been taught to stress out over the small daily purchases. And you know what that does? It just leads to burnout and gives us very little to show for it.
And this right here just lays it all out perfectly. We're always told to worry about that $5 coffee, a small decision we have to make every single day. But the real leverage, the one choice that quietly drains our accounts every month, is that $2,000 rent payment. The math just isn't even in the same league. And hey, the data confirms this completely. Just look at where the money actually goes. For the average person, housing, transportation, and food make up a staggering 85% of their monthly spending. That tiny 5% slice for daily treats, it's a mathematical distraction from what's really going on.
So how do we fix this? What's the move? We need a better mental model, and that's where the 80-20 spending principle comes in. It's the secret to getting massive results with minimal, focused effort.
The principle itself is pretty simple. The vast majority of your results, in this case, your total spending, come from a very small number of your decisions. It means that getting a few key choices right is infinitely more powerful than trying to perfect 100 small ones.
80%. That's the number to remember. A tiny fraction of your financial choices are responsible for the vast majority of your expenses. So the key, the entire game, is to identify which choices those are.
And you know, when we apply this 80-20 analysis to the spending data we just saw, the answer becomes incredibly clear. For almost everyone, there are just 3 categories that matter most: housing, transportation, and food. These are your big wins.
Let's start with the biggest one, housing. This is almost always the single largest line item in anyone's budget. And because it's the biggest, it offers the single highest leverage opportunity for some really significant life-changing savings.
Okay, let's make this real. Meet Sarah. In her first scenario, she's paying $2,000 a month in rent. But by maybe moving to a slightly smaller place or a different neighborhood, she reduces that by just 10%, saving $200. Now that might not sound like a lottery win, but over a year, that single decision puts $2,400 right back in her pocket.
All right, next up is transportation. The mistake a lot of people make here is only looking at the monthly car payment. The true cost of owning a vehicle, when you add in insurance, gas, maintenance, and especially depreciation, is often the second largest drain on our finances.
Now let's consider Mark. He could go out and buy a brand new car for $30,000. Or he could buy a reliable 3-year-old used car for $18,000. Right away, that's a $12,000 difference. Plus, his insurance is going to be lower, and he'll avoid the steepest part of that depreciation curve. That one decision can easily save him over $10,000 in just the first few years.
The third major category is food. Now, this one's a little different from housing and transportation. Those are big, infrequent decisions. But food is a category where small daily choices add up to an absolutely enormous yearly sum. It's a really powerful lever for change. For example, think about a couple that eats out and orders delivery all the time. They might be spending $1,200 a month on food. By shifting to planning their meals and cooking at home most nights, they could easily cut that down to $600. That's a savings of $600 a month, or $7,200 a year, freed up for travel, investing, or anything else they value more.
And this brings us to the ultimate goal here. Think of it like pruning a tree. You don't cut branches to harm the tree, you cut the weak ones so the strong, fruit-bearing ones get all the nutrients and can really flourish. By cutting back mercilessly on these big 3 expenses, you free up incredible resources for the parts of your life you truly love.
This is the whole philosophy in a nutshell. This entire process isn't about becoming frugal. It's the exact opposite. It's the strategy that funds an exceptionally rich and extravagant life, but only in the areas you've consciously chosen to matter most.
So, the path is simple. First, you identify what you truly want more of in your life. Is it travel, hobbies, time with family? Second, you target your spending in the big 3: housing, transportation, and food. Third, you cut mercilessly on those big items.
And fourth, you redirect that fire hose of cash to spend extravagantly on the things you identified in step 1.
So after all this data and all these examples, what's the one thing you should actually do? What is the simple first action you can take right now?
Here is the BRAINELM Lab's takeaway. Forget everything else for now. Just pull up your bank statement and identify your single biggest expense. It's probably your rent or your mortgage. Then ask yourself one simple question. Is there any possible way I could cut this by 10%? Just exploring that question is a monumental first step.
If this helped you think clearly about your spending, please like and subscribe. The next video covers what most people still don't see.